Good morning.
Last minute, like typing, get the title.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh crap.
Hey, how bad's the smoke by you? It's really bad here. I mean, you walk out, you can smell it.
I have not opened my door yet today. Though I do have to go out sometime this afternoon and pick up a couple things that are, ready, prescriptions and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But what's funny enough is earlier this morning I was watching a really cool artist on Twitch and got to talking with one of like the other people in chat, and she made a comment about how she is staying indoors because of the smoke and blah blah blah. And he asked her approximately, he's like, you don't have to say, but just, are you in Canada? And she's like, oh no, I'm in the US by the Great Lakes. And I'm like, hey, me too. And it turns out like she's in the Cleveland area.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And she mentioned like it smells like burning plastic.
Yeah, it's bad.
So-
Somebody else said it smells like hair burning. It's yeah. This is not good. This has been a horrible summer so far.
It's been a rough one.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, and see Rhonda, getting N95 masks today.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to be outside, guys,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, see Willoughby too.
Oh yeah, well that's where I'm at. So yeah. Well, I didn't know Natalie was in Willoughby. Huh, we're close.
Yeah. Renee's up near there too. So
hers is as high as ours. And of course, yeah.
But so today, guys, as soon as we get done with all of the hellos, we actually have about 6 or 7 pictures that friends have sent in. So Coins and Ghouls sent in a few from one of the places he had visited, and Sue Dawson sent in some stuff. So we have some cool pictures, real life. You probably know
these life ones, right? Good. I'm happy to see somebody else's other than mine.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So part 2 went out today of the podcast. So if you haven't listened, if you've been waiting to listen to 1 because you didn't want to have to be waiting on a cliffhanger, it went out today. So you can go listen to it. Yes, Coins and Ghouls, and we have your pictures this morning. So the smoke is even bad all the way down in St. Louis.
They said it's supposed to be all the way down to Dayton today. Because that's how bad the wind's going to be blowing. Yeah, it's bad up here by the lake. It really is bad.
Let's see.
See where we're at now. We're only like 2 miles from the lake, so.
Yeah, see another one near St. Louis, Danny. So, yeah, you know what? If you don't need to mow that lawn, don't.
No, not worth it.
Yeah, see, and that's the air quality we have at 291, very unhealthy.
Yep, that's us.
Oh, even in Mansfield, wow.
It's almost worse farther down. It's worse in Worcester than it is here, the way it's blowing. So, and Worcester's like in the middle of nowhere, believe me. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Hey, Richie. How you doing, hon? He's one of our regulars, but then he moved down to Kentucky for school, graduated, doing cool things down there.
Oh, okay.
Happy Woo Woo Wednesday. Yeah, even in Georgia, poor air quality alert. So, right, Sandy, how about part 2 of that podcast? I was a little disappointed you weren't able to track down, the officer and see if he could join us today.
Yeah, I tried, but no, didn't work.
Right, and Amy's like, that was the best part of her whole existence. The reunion, hopefully in her next life, she'll be rewarded since she suffered so much.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. When saging your house, should you have smudged the inside of your car too?
If it's parked in the garage all the time, I certainly would, especially if you don't have a seat in the glove compartment. Yep.
And especially if you're somebody that you go antiquing or picking up stuff from like flea markets, garage sales.
The curb.
The curb.
The curb that just bugs me, the curb.
I could hear that eye roll, Marianne.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me. She's right. It's bad all over.
Oh, well, now you got both parts. So.
Oh no.
Oh,
cripe.
Let's see. Oh, middle field too. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it's not too bad in Kentucky, but it was bad a few weeks ago.
Okay, that's good. You are a little farther south.
Right. So speaking of, we normally would do a podcast today afterwards, but we've got some stuff to do, both Marianne and I today. So we won't do a podcast today after the live. We'll do one. We'll do two.
Next Wednesday.
So, but don't worry. There will be episodes released next week.
Oh yeah. No, we've got some waiting to go.
Marianne, didn't you kind of say, or maybe I was just assuming that he had like died or something?
Yeah, he disappeared. I don't know if he died or whatever happened to him. He deserved it.
Right.
Whatever.
It probably was not enough suffering for him.
No, probably not.
He got off too easy. Part 2 went up today. So when you have a second, you can go ahead and listen to part 2 today. And, Marianne was putting in a good effort to try and get a hold of Detective Glenn, which is a generic name for all detectives. Kind of like Sister Mary Altercloth, which is
right
to me.
All the nuns, right?
Yeah. It's never the same detective. It's
right.
Never the same nun.
Right. It was bad when I had to have Sister Sacristy and Sister Mary Altercloth in the same one, because they both couldn't be married Sister Mary Altercloth.
Marianne, did you ever watch Evil?
No.
On TV? I did. And of course, it's taking heavily in the Catholic, settings. And anytime there's nuns involved, like I just hear you, Sister Mary Altercloth. Well, I'm like, there's 3 or 4. What names would Marianne give those extra ones? You know?
Sister Sacristy is right up there with Sister Mary Altercloth, and then there's Sister Holy Water too. Oh. But yeah, we can fit him in. It's okay.
We can go with this.
We can go with it. Yeah, we can go in like that. Yeah. And that's the problem, because I could really give a really good podcast about that, especially that, but I can't because of where I live, everybody would know where I'm talking about, and I can't do that. So,
Let's see. Denise says, just bought a new used vehicle, thought it was haunted for imminent problems. Nope. The mechanic said it was probably an actuator for door controls.
What's the big deal? Get a smudge stick and smudge any used vehicle you buy. Used motorcycle, used vehicle, anything. I mean, what's a smudge stick going to cost you? $10? It's definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. Just to make sure too that like they fix one problem, another one doesn't start popping.
That's right. Because a lot of times people will take their vehicles to a mechanic and they'll go, "There's nothing wrong," but it happens. Sister Communion, that's good. It happens all the time.
Everybody wants you to go ahead and tell that story.
Oh, no. No, I will go to hell for that if I've told that. No. No.
Yeah, Swifty's like, he's probably wandering around from the podcast episode, probably wandering.
Yeah, maybe he is in a portal somewhere giving somebody else grief. I certainly hope not.
Yeah, so if you haven't listened, part 2's out today.
The only one that we came close to catching the same ghost in portals would be with Margie's place, because there were portals. That ghost had been in portals in other houses on that street. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. Holy pants.
Oh, I feel like we should be taking.
You're writing him down. No, I believe me. I got him.
Yeah, well, and see, there's the thing. His name was also Clarence, so that's kind of like the generic bad guy name, right?
Yeah,
So, what do you have against Clarence, Marianne?
I don't know, because Clarence was the angel in the Christmas story, and he's a good guy, so I don't know why I came up with Clarence.
Right. Oh, good question, Mitchie. Yeah. Do palm crosses count in place of smudging? I also have a mini rosary in my car.
No, unfortunately, they do not. The palm crosses, especially if they're blessed and all that, it helps it, but it's not 100%, not like the quinceads. I've never found anything that works like the quinceads. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Rhonda's like, we can find out when he died if we have his real name.
Yeah, no. No.
I'm telling you, we got some really good sleuths in our friends here.
It's amazing what you guys can do with the computer. It just fascinates me that you can do that. You just put in the name and you get all that. And I'm trying to rack my brain out trying to remember what they said 45 years ago. So
there are many instances in some true crime stories where amateur sleuths, people like us, sit there and we just go down and we figure out stuff that like the professionals didn't think to check or maybe couldn't for whatever reason.
Look at the professionals now that are going through Ancestry.com and finding all these back criminals from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they thought DNA was great. Geez, this is even better. So
yeah, GEDmatch is a site. Like I've done 23andMe because I wanted the medical stuff.
Right.
I can take my whole genetic thing and upload it into GEDmatch. And if they find out that there's somebody out there, who left DNA, but they're not in the system yet, and it's a close enough match to mine, then I might get a knock on the door. I'm like, hey, you got a second or third male cousin, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
Right.
And that's happened.
And see, that's why with that one podcast that we did with the son that showed up, how does that guy know he doesn't have more kids? Who knows where else?
He doesn't.
That's right.
So, yeah, Sandy's like, we need to work some cold cases. So it's
like,
we
don't have anything else to do. We can do that.
Right.
We're bored.
So it's like you can behave, all you want. Or what I should say is like if you're committing crimes and you're going out of your way not to leave any DNA, but you leave that smallest little thing and it could be a cousin twice removed that's going to get you because
that's right.
They're just trying, and they can also help identify victim,
right.
that way too. So
that's right.
It's kind of a cool thing.
I got a list. Oh my gosh, I think probably 40. I was 28. Oh crap, a long time ago. And she gave me this printout from an old computer, the kind that when you pick the paper up, it has the holes down the side where it ran. Yeah, and it just, you pick it up and it's one sheet after another. It's not, And I remember she handed me these and it was a lady detective. And I says, what is all this? She says, these are all, oh my gosh, Jane Doe's that had a risque life they call strawberries. And there was a list of over 500 strawberries that they had no idea who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran across a couple of them, doing a house where they had been murdered. And so she just gave me this whole thing. And she says, all it had was their race, approximate age, their height, weight, that kind of thing, where they were found. That's all the information. So she says, well, if you can figure out a match, let me know. It's like, you got to be kidding me. So here I am.
Long list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I certainly do. And it's like, But it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Well, girl got killed on East 9th Street, close to the pier. She was white. She looked like she was about 21. So here I am every night going through these lists. It's like I was making myself crazy. And it's like, no. But since then, because of DNA and because of Ancestry, they have found a lot of those. They know a lot of those. I keep wanting to call them cherries, but they're not, strawberries. And yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that list moved with me somewhere here. God knows where. So
I was going to say, hopefully the names are in alphabetical order. So if the ghost was like, my name is.
no, unfortunately, they're by years.
Well,
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. I think there's still some deaths in there from the Kingsbury Run, the torso killers. I think it's that far back.
That's at least a little comforting that it's a larger time frame, not like
right, exactly.
There can be comfort.
But the thing that upset me was that it was all of them were the same line of work, which was not good.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is.
So Jen says, I recently lost 2 loved ones within months of each other unexpectedly, missing them terribly and want to be sure they're at peace.
Well, it sounds like it's recently, so wait at least 6 months. That's usually the first time you will actually get a dream of somebody that died. Usually not before 6 months. It's very rare before that. And sometimes it can take up to 2 years. So just watch for a dream, talk to friends and relatives, make sure everybody's on high alert who has the dream first of whoever died. And then you'll know for sure that they crossed over.
Jane says, good morning from hot central Louisiana. Does anyone ever look at the Bring Back the Ghost Whisperer Facebook page? People love the show so much. Just yesterday, I had to set someone straight. They thought that James was the Ghost Whisperer. Nope. It was a great show, and I loved your Barbara Stanwyck story.
Yeah, thank you for remembering her name.
That's like our inside.
I know everybody knows. I can never remember her name. Miss Barbara Stanwyck. No. Love is on. She's been on 2 other shows since then. She's on 9/11, one of the fire department shows. I forget which one she's on.
So we just age her character out, and we get past her, and we bring in somebody else.
That's right. No, and she's got 3 kids now. She's chasing. And truly, that's all she ever wanted, was to be married and have kids. So I don't think she's coming back. And you know what? I don't know. Let's face it, it didn't work real well when they jumped David Conrad out of being Jim to that other body. I think it would be too hard to change her, to switch it to a different Melissa.
You think?
Yeah, I think it would be.
We're going to have to get creative, guys. And
let's face it, the writers are all on strike now, and the actors are going on strike. We may not say anything.
We know writers. We got one right now in chat. Her name is Brooke.
There you go. But, all we're going to be seeing for the next year is reality TV, even if they ever come back to writing and everything.
And see, I don't watch reality at all.
No, if I don't have to, I don't. But
I just go out my door.
There's been nothing on TV because it's summer to begin with, and everything's reruns anyway. And Ted and I got hooked on, that's a terrible thing to say, but we got hooked on watching this stupid Catching Tuna. These people go out and they're only allowed to get 1 tuna a day because of it's quarantine. They're rare. So these fishermen go out around Maine and all the ocean out that way, Gloucester, Maine and all that, and they fish for these tunas. My God, they're like 100 feet long and they weigh 400 or 500 pounds. You should see them catch these things. This is what I've been glued to the TV for 2 hours watching every night because there's nothing else on. It's like, that's boring.
Margie watches it too.
Yes, yeah, it's.
Is it called?
Wicked Tuna, Mean Tuna, something like that. Yeah. Oh my God, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre.
Tracy says, my mother is having a hard time since my dad passed. She saw a dark shadow on his side of the bed and could smell him. Do you think he is watching over her?
Yeah, and that's a really good way to know if somebody like when I smell half and half pipe tobacco, I know my father's visiting. When I smell garlic, I know my grandmother's around. So there's certain smells that remind you of somebody, and when they're visiting, you will smell that.
Good question. So, did the victims on the submersible get the white light after the implosion? Also, have you ever met a ghost from the Titanic?
No, I never have, but I'd love to. Yeah, as soon as they died, that white light was right there for them. And to my knowledge, there has been no memorial service yet for any of them. I personally, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but personally, that far down, I can't believe they're going to find any parts or pieces. I would think that they just exploded with everything. So, but their white light would stay with them until till the families have a final memorial service, and that's when their 48 to 72 hours would start. So, yeah, no, they're visiting and hopefully giving the company, whoever made that tin can, grief. Seriously.
Okay, well, the owner was on that.
Yeah, but he has a company behind him. It's not his word alone. I'm sure he's got stockholders and everybody else that should be in real big trouble about now.
Jerry says, or asks, how can I get holy water or blessed objects if I'm not a Christian and I don't go to church?
Jerry, you can go to any church that is open, and most of the churches have the front doors are open during the day. They don't keep them open at night anymore, but during the day. And the back of every church is the baptismal fount, where that's where they put the baby over to, put the water on the forehead. There's a spigot there. Take an empty, clean Coke bottle, and just go. It doesn't cost anything. Just go in there and get it that way.
Hey, Nikki, speaking of my house, you implode and basically liquefy because of the pressure. Sorry to be graphic.
That's what I figured. I didn't think there'd be a whole lot left.
Yeah. Ew. But she's another crime fan.
I mean, if I were to see them, they'd be whole. So thank God I don't have to see that part,
Right. So why don't we move to some of the pictures we have loaded, ready to go. Let's do Sue's first, only because hers are the first one on my screen. I don't have to scroll for them. So Sue sent in 3. These are from her Ring camera. And this is the first showing her neighbor's house across the way. That I'm assuming that is the moon in the clouds. But then the next that showed was that little bitty light way up at the top, followed by, it looks like it's moving or straight. And she's wondering if you might have an idea of what that could be.
Off the top of my head, I got to tell you, I think that's alien. I don't think that's ghosts or anything else. That's not an orb. That's for darn sure. They don't turn into that cigar shape. So that is not an orb. What county are you in?
See if Sue is,
if she's even on.
Yeah, and let me see if she mentioned it. No, she didn't mention it in her email. Just that she sent those in.
Just some counties seem to be more active than other counties, and some states are more.
Lorraine.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that's alien. Lorain County's a hot spot, let me tell you. It's gotten really, really dicey down around Amherst, to be honest with you.
Seriously?
Yeah. a lot of high-pitched noise coming from Amherst.
I
just
don't,
goes hand in hand sometimes.
I don't miss living in that area at all. Let's see. Well, it's not stealing, Karen. I would be scared to steal holy water.
No, so go sit down for a minute and say a prayer. Count to 100. It looks like you're Jesus. You're not stealing. It's available to anybody that wants it. Just don't drink it or give it to your kids to drink.
I mean,
they've done that. That's so stupid.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they're not going to chase you like loss prevention. If anything, they're making the sign of the cross at you and
Right. Yeah,
sticking the flare at your
there's no
back.
priest in there, unless there's a mass going on. There's not even anybody in there. Maybe some old lady lighting candles in the corner or something. Ugh, don't worry about it.
Let's see. Um, all right. So Coins and Ghouls sent in his round from Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri. So here is his first one. It almost looks like a ectoplasm kind of outline, or if that was the top of a head forming, possibly.
I don't know if that's a face in the middle and that's long hair off to the one side. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is.
Is it ghostly, at least?
I really don't know. Because the white linens and the white cloths show up on the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I don't know.
The second one, I love this picture because I love the look of determination on the person's face in the forefront. Clearly a live person, and you can tell she was concentrating on something. And I don't know, Coins. Maybe she'll be like, "Why did you submit this picture for everybody to see?" The picture or the
No, that was
behind,
that. Now, is that the same picture? Is that the same one from the first picture that's just gotten
could be in the
stronger?
same area.
That's a face. That definitely is earthbound.
Mhm.
But the hair looks different in this one than the first one. So I don't know if that's the same picture or not.
So Coins, I think this was referring to the first one, says that the owners of the building thinks there could be a ghost dog in the basement.
No, I could show you a picture of a ghost dog. That is not a ghost dog. That would be a human.
But yeah, that area back there looked
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
you can see the two eyes. You can even see the mouth and the nose.
So
no.
and
There's a third one that goes with that. Oh, yeah.
It looks like different room. Orb.
That's not an orb. It's not round enough. Mm-mm. Was that on the floor?
Yeah, that was
Or on a,
like down on the floor.
I won't be gross, but that reminds me of something other than that's not. I don't think that's anything. No, I don't think that's anything. Let's leave it with nothing.
Okay, and final. Hey, Joe. This one's interesting since that out of focus area is just in that one spot. Everything else is perfectly clear.
Wow, I don't know for sure. That's funny because that's about how big of an opening that I make when I glance at a wall to make the white light to watch somebody walk into it. And sometimes it does have those ridges in it like that. I don't know. That might be the beginnings or part of or the end of the white light. That's a possibility. I really don't know what that is. See, and it can't be the camera moving because the salt and pepper shakers would be distorted then too.
Yeah, I was going to say the only distortion is that one spot.
Yeah. I don't know. If it was the same place that these other two pictures were taken, I wonder if maybe the one that I said is definitely a ghost, if that is from the light and they brought the light with them to come through.
Now, Tanya is like, it looks like there's almost a hooded figure to the right.
That's a shadow. wait a minute. Are you looking at the wall where that shadow is, or are you looking in the white light? If you're looking in the white light, that almost looks. Where's that picture? I don't have it up.
So she's looking at the white light.
I'm going to think that's the white light because I'm going to guess anybody that has ever seen pictures of Mary, the Blessed Virgin, she always has her head down like that with that white. Of course, so does this Mother Therese. I don't know. I'm going to say that's somebody from the white light. I really am. That could be just a saint. Or it would not be an angel. That would be some kind of a human that's in the white light that was a holy person. But who that is, I can't tell. Yeah, you could almost see it there.
Yeah, Coin says all of these photos were taken as a progression back to back. So that way I would know, what was an anomaly. Yeah, that word.
Yeah, you got it. I think the three of them, you got something. That last one, no. I don't think that last one is anything. But the other three, I think you possibly have something there.
So very cool.
Yeah, that's good. It's very good.
So guys, if anybody else has something that you don't mind being shown out publicly and want to have Marianne take a look, that's the email to send it to. Pictures are good. I can easily get those up. If you're sending me movies, make sure they're short. If they're too long, like a lot of times they won't come through because the file is too big.
Yeah, I think that might be what that is.
But yeah, this is fun. This is interesting. I like seeing real people pictures. Though, Chair, what's the most famous ghost picture you think is most likely to be real?
Of the three we just saw?
No, I think like in general, like when people say here's, because like there is that manor down south, I think it's in Savannah, like there's always the lady in white on the stairs. And so like there's that picture that always gets circulated. It looks like the outline of white, and it's their lady in white. But of course, now every place has a lady in white because nobody can get original on their ghost story. So is there a famous picture that you've seen of a ghost that you're like, yeah, that really is one?
Yeah, there actually is a really, really good one. And I've got the negative and I've got the picture, but I also think it might be in this book. It might be in this book, and it might not be in this book. Yes. In When Ghosts Speak, this is a group of ladies. Let me put this like this. Here's a group of ladies sitting around on a deck. And there was a lady standing like in this direction right here taking a picture. All of these ladies are in color, except this one right here. She looks like a bust, like a head. And that's what everybody thought it was, except that her arm is up like this and you can see a wristwatch. That is the clearest picture of a ghost that I have ever gotten or seen. You could see her eyebrows. You can see everything on this woman, and she's definitely a ghost.
So I wonder, like, how much energy that took for her to appear that strongly.
First of all, she was at a party.
True.
Or a group of people, which would have given her more energy. Those were all ladies in their 70s and 80s that were sitting around that deck. And her hairstyle looks like something from Mamie Eisenhower, So it obviously somebody there she either knows or knew or was looking for. But there's no. Did you looking for that book?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's a title for that picture.
No, I don't think there is.
was looking to see if there was a page number that we can be like, oh, if you
No,
have.
it's right between 100 and 13 and 115. None of the pictures are labeled. This one says the statue like head under the right edge of the umbrella is not a statue, it's a spirit. Did you find it?
Yeah, and what's funny, it almost looks like even though the chair is facing the camera, it looks like she's sitting opposite and turning, looking back.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Um,
And that little white dot
so
on
her,
the tree, see that white dot on the tree?
uh-huh.
That's a clock or a temperature thing. That is not an orb. But look at her. She is so real. I mean, look at her arm and her wrist. And
Yeah.
like I said, I've got the picture in color. Everything is color except her. She's black and white. Everything. This picture threw the FBI. This one they could not figure out how this one was done.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me the pat answer. Don't know what it is, but it hasn't been rigged. But so in other words, it's something, but they will never admit it's a ghost, even though they all carry a seed.
That's hilarious. Let's see. So I've got signed copies of Marianne's book. So if you need one, we can buy it from the website. Somebody has asked if you sell signed copies, and Marianne, you do too from your website.
I do too. Yeah. It's weird. Somebody sent in the store, and they wanted first edition signed copy. And the paperback signed, I don't know what, I don't think you can get your hands on a hard copy. Every now and then you find a hard copy, but it's not normal. But yeah.
Like a used bookstore or something.
Yeah, and Ted did find a box with a couple of from 2007, which would have been the first edition of the paperback. But no, we've got them all. I think you've got them all too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're on like a 10th printing.
Yeah, I think so.
And my copy is like an illegal stripped because, I rescued it at Borders.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, how yellow that is.
Yeah.
It's been around a while. So I'm sure we're past the 10th printing.
Oh, I think we are too.
I don't have one of the newer ones here to flip it open. But yeah, that's been out since 2007. So yeah. I'll have to remember to look the next time I'm in the store, pulling off the shelf real quick and like flip open and be like, what printing are we on? Let's see. So there was, let me go back and try and find it. Right. Like I found a couple of hardbacks here and there at Half Price Books. So if you've got one near you, always go check. They were always usually in the metaphysical section because they group haunted and all of that kind of together. Metaphysical, spiritual, at least the one in North Olmsted did.
I found a couple at a Goodwill one time too.
Mm-hmm.
So they were signed to somebody else, but if you wanted a hard copy, you could use that.
City, in referring to that last picture with the lines and that white light, had to be like a door.
Everybody makes a different City. It could be a round thing that looks like a tunnel. It can be a square like a doorway. It's whatever you can quickly do to watch people walk into. It can be whatever works for you. Everyone's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Why do regular people need holy water for?
Well, if you're Catholic, you use it to bless yourself, and they use it for ceremonies and stuff like that. Same thing with the incense and, all of that stuff. So the blessed salt, same thing with that, because they put a little salt on the baby's tongue. So everything has some kind of significance in whatever the ceremony is that they're doing. Regular people, I very seldom see. You used to be able to go to your store. Well, all the churches have little stores now, and you could buy a kit that would be good for the last rites, and it was blessed candles with a little holy water and a little salt, so that the priest didn't have to bring his own if he was coming to the house to give you last rites. And there's holy water in that for them. But some people just like to have holy water in the house. But like I said, I've seen mothers give their kids a tablespoon of holy water every morning. You know who? All the people that put their hands in that water, and you're giving that to your kids to drink, even if it's a tablespoon. Oh my God. Polio. No, quit. Don't do that. Oh, yuck.
Pam says, my husband's parents have been gone for over 30 years. I have seen and talked with them in dreams, but he hasn't. It is bothering him, and he's afraid that they don't and didn't love him.
Number one, does he remember his dreams? Everybody dreams, but does he remember them? That's number one. Number two, would his parents think that he would be too upset if they came in a dream to him, that it would bother him? When you have a dream about one of them, tell them to go visit their son. And tell your husband to get mugwort and put it in a little pouch and put it between your pillowcase and your pillow, and in about 3 weeks he'll start remembering his dreams. And the dream bags are what have the little seed in that people have been buying to put over their doors. So I've got them, but you could you carry mugwort in the store, Melissa?
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure do.
Okay, so Melissa's even just got the plain mugwort at Goddess Elite. So, but try that. That would be a reason. It's either he's not remembering them, or they're afraid that it's going to upset him.
Laura says, my father, mother, and brother passed away within months of each other. I wonder if I'm next. I'm the last of my immediate family. The cynical side of me says, of course, we're all next at some point.
Yeah, but no, that doesn't mean anything. No. That doesn't really mean anything. Some families go like that. What can you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't spend your time worrying about it. Like
you can't change it, so just go with it. I mean, there's nothing you're going to do.
Let's see. Oh, Melanie says Amazon has hardback copies for sale of your book.
Really?
So I wonder if it's, rather than Amazon, I wonder if it's like an independent seller who is kind of selling off. And you got to be careful sometimes with Amazon and eBay and whatnot. There can be forgery prints.
Well, I'll tell you who. Somebody came up to me when it was just hardcovers. The paperback hadn't been out yet. And they brought up, it looked identical to mine, but it was probably an inch shorter, narrower all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a book of the month, some book of the month club that printed them, and they were selling them, but they weren't the size of the regular one that my company was using. And I don't know about those.
I'm sure that wasn't through the publisher.
I'm not sure either.
There are, like, when I still work for Borders in Tower City, one of my employees put out a book, and within a month and a half or so, like, he was seeing his work being sold, but it wasn't through him or his independent publisher. And right. I'm like, you need to have your publisher get on that. Like, neither one of you were getting paid. Somebody has taken your work. And granted, it still had his name and everything, but I'm like,
but it's not his. Right.
For that.
I got hold of my publisher too after about the third or fourth copy of that I saw. And I don't know what happened to him. I really didn't see him again after that. Mm-hmm. But my agent said, she says, you'd be surprised how many. It was not the Book of the Month Club that's very reputable. It was some off the shoot. Mm-hmm. Book of the Month Club. And so, but I've seen those, and all the books that are in a different language, like when Go Speak is in 8 different languages, they changed the name of it and everything. They changed the cover, everything. Mm-hmm. But it's still, but they got it from our manufacturer, they got permission and did it their way.
Right.
So, but that's funny because I look at these and I'm going, that's not my book. And it's like, yeah, it is, but it's totally different. So,
Well, and I mean, and that's the thing that I have people coming in too, and now I'm starting to get questioned by customers of whether or not I have the real tarot deck, because there are Chinese printers who are taking tarot and oracle and stealing the artwork and everything, shrinking the cards down, shrinking the box down, and half the time you have a missing card or two, and instead of having the booklets and stuff that go with it, you get a little slip of paper with a QR code that you have to scan, and they're flimsier. So everybody's like, "Yay, they're cheaper. Why pay, $25 when I can go order it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, your cards are going to fall apart. You don't have your book. You're missing cards for one. So here's where your cheapness is going to get you in the end."
right,
Like
right,
these are the solid cards from the publisher.
right,
So there's your downside if you're trying to save money and you're ordering cards at cheaper price, because you're
right.
ordering knockoffs, and now the artist is not getting paid for the work they put into creating that deck.
That's right. No, everybody's getting gypped by it, believe me.
Yeah.
So it's no, and it's ridiculous because that book has been out since 2007. So how many years is that? I'm not good at math. It's 222. So you tell me. And do you know I have yet to get one. I haven't gotten any money on that book yet.
Well, don't they have
Now,
a ridiculous amount that has to be sold before they'll cut you a check on that?
60,000 a year have to be sold or something before I get a cent off of that. A cent off of that.
Guys, go tell your friends to read the book.
No, you know what? That's why it's believe me, it's not even worth it. It's just go to the library and get it. It's people people are buying them more because they give them away for people to read and then they don't get them back. That's how the people are buying more of them, because they lose their original copy.
Right.
But, you know, but it's fine. But no, books, writing books isn't what it's cracked up to be, believe me. Unless you're Stephen King or, you know,
King, I will give him the props. So there was that chunk of time where you could tell he was writing it to get out of a contract. It suffered.
right.
But other authors who put out a book a month, and I'm like, your ghostwriters are doing all your work.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We will not say his name other than he is in the mystery thriller genre.
Yeah.
And he's crossed over into young adult now too.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be sued.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh yeah. No, I know.
Because that man has more than enough money to come for me. Danny says, as far as dreams go, my boyfriend and his mom have had the same dream of grandma and grandpa who have passed. They didn't feel like it was a visitation, very run-of-the-mill dream. Do you think it was a visit?
Well, here's a little trick to that. When you see a friend, a relative, somebody that you know in a dream, they will talk to you, but you have to start the conversation. You can't just lay there and sleep and wait for them to start it. If you see grandma, you go, hi, grandma, or grandpa, or mom, or whatever, your friend, Sherry, Sherry, is that you? Once you start, they will start talking to you. But maybe that, it's like they're just standing around waiting for the invite. So they want to speak to you. So give them the chance and say hi first.
Coco says, I was almost asleep and heard my name very clear. Could it be a spirit contacted me? Never heard it again.
It could be somebody, it could be a guardian angel. It could be a relative that crossed over and is visiting. But when you're almost asleep at night, when you flipped your pillow over one time for it to be cool again, or in the morning when you hit the alarm clock and just for 10 more minutes for a snooze, when you're almost asleep or almost waking up, believe it or not, that's when most people hear them and see them, because you're out of it, but you're still awake.
Hey, mystery. Glad you can make us, huh? How funny. City says, speaking of dreams, lately I've been remembering all of my dreams when I wake up, even if the memory stays for like 5 minutes. This has never happened to me. Do you know why?
Well, you're concentrating on them more, and that's why you're remembering them. If you wrote down just a couple of words, you'd be able to pull back the whole dream. I mean, even if you keep a pen and a pad of paper in the bathroom in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, just write 1 or 2 words down that you were dreaming about, and you'd be surprised how much that'll come back to you. Plus, I think the older we get, the more we remember our dreams. We don't have time when we're younger, but now when you get to a certain age, you can see all kinds of people that have died in dreams. So.
Well, and I mean, let's face it, when you're younger and if you have kids, sometimes that morning time, like the kids have gotten up before you, and what did they just spill?
That's right. No, I mean, your mind life gets in the way. And
Yeah.
seriously, when the kids are older and you've got the empty nest syndrome going on, that's really when people see them or hear them the most.
This is what I kind of chuckled at and said, this is funny. Nancy says, my mom, who was Lutheran, caught me blessing my bed at night with holy water. I told her it was so the devil didn't get me while I was sleeping. She had a long talk with my dad.
Well, Lutherans and Catholics are very similar. I mean, you guys just get to have more fun than we do. So, but a lot of other churches and religions have holy water. Catholics aren't the only one.
Mm-hmm. Florida water. Florida water is more of a cleansing than a protective type thing. It is not the same as holy water. So Florida water is what you're going to use. And this is if you're buying it off the shelf at like CVS, Walmart, depending on where those stores are located and the demographic. Not all of them will carry it. There's also yellow Florida water that comes out of Peru that I use for my shaman work. And that is a cleansing and a blessing, not a protective and, keep all of the boogies away. You can also make Florida water. There's plenty of recipes online. It's a bit of a process. It takes a little bit. And usually homemede's going to smell better. There's less alcohol because you're going to make it in smaller batches. So Florida water is a good thing. Just it's not used the same way as holy water.
I have no idea what any of that is. Never even heard of it.
Marian, I think you've walked in on the store one time when I was blessing some things for you and I was spitting Florida water and you were like, okay.
Maybe. I can't remember, but it's like, okay, if that works for you, okay.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Right. It's hard to get rich being an author, especially when you've got big publishers. It's even harder in a way, depending when you're self-published.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Self-published is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll never let anyone borrow. Yeah, don't.
Seriously, that's it. You won't get it back, believe me. And they'll argue with you that they gave it back, but they didn't really, because they lent it to somebody and they forgot who. So
they don't want to own up to it. Or
that's right. That's right.
Joe's like, I grew up with Florida water. Hispanic households is a must. Yeah. So, and it kind of started, one of the stories is that the reason why it's called Florida water was that there was a spring in Florida that was supposed to be healing and anti-aging and, so it just kind of.
Oh, that's like the place in New Mexico with the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And it can smell, to me, the Peruvian smells better. It's more floral, less alcohol-y. It's a little more expensive because it comes out of Peru and it's yellow. Slightly bigger bottle, but like Lachelle makes Florida water for us for the store and it smells amazing because of how she's perfected it. There is no alcohol smell to that whatsoever. And we can't keep it in stock. We keep running out, but she also makes it in smaller batches to keep the consistency
the same. Yeah, right.
So
that's the trouble that I have making the solution for the little folk.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be done just right or it's not going to work. Right.
Let's see. My hubby doesn't believe in this stuff, but he uses your book to keep whatever book he is reading open and level on his laptop.
That's funny.
Does it work by osmosis, Mary?
That's so funny.
Let's see.
So many men do that. Men crack me up, honest to God.
So many are non-believers until something happens.
Oh yeah, then they can't. I can't get there fast enough.
Does a bird following you and landing in your hair, does that have any meaning?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, my the Blue Jays didn't like my mother-in-law. Every time she walked out the back door, the Blue Jays would come and peck her head. But my mother-in-law didn't get along with a lot of people, so I don't know.
I mean, birds can be pretty smart, right? So
Yeah.
if they learn who you are, I mean, I'm starting to wonder if the murder of crows that's hanging out about the apartment, if they're the same murder like a mile and a half away at my work, that I was trying to make crow friends, because they'll recognize you and they'll even learn your car. And
They
since I'm
can talk too.
and I'm
Crows can
like, I
talk,
want
yeah.
those are the same friends there. Um, so I'm like, I might need to go buy extra peanuts for out here, but then keep them away from all of the squirrels and chipmunks that are
Yeah.
here.
When we lived in Worcester, we had hummingbird feeders, and when they were out, they would, oh my God, they would come to the screen while I was washing dishes, and
Mhm.
buzz and buzz and buzz. Food, we need food. I mean, there must, oh, I they would land on me waiting for me to hang the thing back up. That's how many of them we had. They were really cool.
Very
So yeah, but they never went in my hair. They didn't like my mother-in-law. Of course, she always had a fly swatter in her hand. That could be why.
well,
But yeah,
I wonder why they didn't like her.
yeah, right.
There's a lady, now I'm trying to remember if it was TikTok or Instagram that I found her. She gets like big wide frame glasses and she takes like half of a paper plate and like tapes them to the glasses and then wraps herself up in a blanket and then has a video of like birds landing on that plate to eat bird seed and everything, which is really adorable. And then her getting excited about it is adorable. And there's been videos where like her little one, her like little toddler, whatever, like has little glasses and sitting there. It's really cute. I'm like, why am I watching videos about birds? But here I am, and it's adorable. Um, let's see. Can earthbounds who never cross over lose their humanity and become something negative?
No, they have identically the same personality that they had when they were alive. So they're not going to get uglier or prettier or meaner or nicer. That's their personality. If they didn't like dogs when they were alive, they're still not going to like dogs. So, that's the same. They don't get worse. They can get actually depressed at times that they didn't cross over when they had the opportunity, because a lot of them are really sorry they didn't cross when they had the chance. But, you know, everything looks better on the other side until you try it and then you're stuck. So,
Let's see. Yeah, true. Sounds like TikTok. I think you're right. Um, there was another one that I found, and I'm like, it might be appropriate, but I need to run it past you first. It's Latinos Against Spookies, and so he has videos of things happening or pictures like what we do, but um, very spooked by it and why you should run very, very far away. And it's funny, and I'm like, I need to show these to Marianne. But it's Latinos Against Spooky shit. Uh,
I
so go look him up. Just put it in there, you'll find him. It's hilarious.
okay.
He usually has at least one a day. And I showed it to Zach. So those of you that have been with us Wednesday nights, you know who Zach is. He's one of the readers, and he's Mexican.
I'll have to have Ted find it for me.
Yeah, I'll have to send some over to you.
Yeah.
Rather funny. Let's see. Can spirits who have crossed over see how family members have grown up?
Oh, absolutely. They don't miss anything of the family. They watch the grandkids grow up and they go to soccer games and weddings and nope, they don't miss anything. And the quinceads don't stop them because they're from the light. The quinceads only stop ones that have not crossed over. So no, it doesn't stop your spirit guide, your guardian angel, ones that crossed over at all. And they watch everything. A lot of times with newborn babies and the monitors that have the screen, you see a lot of orbs. Those are relatives that have crossed over that just love to watch babies. So yeah, no, they're always around.
Tracy says, my dad loved hawks. When I see a hawk flying overhead, I think of him. Is this his way of saying hello?
Yes, and it absolutely could. Most people, I think, are tuned into cardinals, but there is, I do a man down in Texas that every time he sees a hawk or a falcon, he knows that it's his son that's coming to say hello to him. It's just, some people, it's butterflies. So it just depends.
Says my brother didn't believe until he got very sick. He woke up one night seeing a bunch of people standing around him with their faces close to him. It scared him so bad he slept with my mom for a month.
You know, relatives that have crossed over are concerned when you are really, really sick. A lot of times when I go into somebody's house to clear a house, they have a message for me to give to the family from somebody that crossed over. You better check on your Aunt Millie. She's been sick and nobody's checked on her. So they try to get messages to you if there's a problem with somebody. Absolutely.
All right. And last question for the day before we do all of our closing stuff. New Mexico, J. Pork Kerr tortured and killed 60 plus people. Mass grave, worst prison riot, U.S. history, paranormal, and officers curriculum. Are earthbound spirits attracted to areas or just people?
If there are a lot of, like the towers, when the towers went down, everybody was going there to see if there were ghosts there from all the people that got killed in 9/11. And there were earthbound spirits there, but they were there watching the crowd. They were not the people that got killed in the towers. So the same thing, like cemeteries. They don't visit cemeteries. They don't hang out in cemeteries. Everybody's dead. Who are they going to get energy from? But a lot of our local cemeteries have tours, and a lot of presidents are buried in some of our local cemeteries. Elliot Ness is buried in one of our local cemeteries. And if there's enough of a crowd, yes, an earthbound spirit will come over and be nosy. But no, they don't. No, they don't become worse.
Okay, so Joe, perfect segue. When are the Zoom schedules? So July 14th, Friday, and I just activated the 24th. So the 14th has like a handful of spots available. Otherwise, the 24th is a Monday. Both of these are going to start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And while we love friends from everywhere to join us on Zoom to find out if you have anything going on in your home or place of work, please make sure you adjust the time on your end so you're starting when we start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, you must be in the building that your question is about. We have had plenty of relatives or friends be sitting together in one location and then want to ask a question about another place. And it doesn't work like that. You're not there. You get to ask a couple questions. A lot of people are going to ask if you have ghosts in your house, if there's a portal, if you have negative energy. Those are the most common ones. So you get to ask two. Please keep in mind what happened when you were 7 has no relevance to what's going on right now. So if you want to know what's going on now, that's what you need to ask. She can't tell you what happened 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. No one under the age of 18. Sometimes there's some heavy stuff going on in somebody's house. They do not need to hear this. It is limited to 20 people. Please keep that in mind as well. So again, another reason why we don't need to hear what happened before, not because we don't care about you, but other people are waiting and they paid for their time as well. And it really has no relevance to what's going on now. Oh, there went my timer because we went over the hour. We're going to turn that back on. So again, no one under 18. We don't need to scare the children with what may be going on in their house or somebody else's. When you register, please double check your email when you put that in. As soon as you put all your stuff in and you put your payment and you hit go, the system is going to automatically send you a confirmation email. If your email is wrong, you're not going to get it. And I don't know what your email is to fix it for you until you finally go, hey, I never got it. And I'm like, yeah, because you mistyped it. What should it be? And do not delete your email. That's got your Zoom link. If you're kind of thinking about joining on Friday, but you wait and it fills up, it's only going to show you the next available, which will be that Monday. Please don't contact me or Marianne saying the system's broke that you can't get in. It's full. It's not broke. It's working perfectly. What else? Did I cover all of them?
I think so. I think you got it. Yep. I think you got it.
So yeah, it is not recorded out for other people to see like what this is. So it's just you and the other people that pay to be there. Off to hear the podcast things. Yeah. So part 2 is out today if you've been waiting. Yeah, anywhere there are a group of people, there are probably earthbounds. Marianne, so yes, July 8th, we still have openings for in-person Ghost Walk July 8th over in Kipton in Lorain County, which is west. That train wreck is the reason why we all have it. I do this and I'm not wearing an analog watch, a secondhand on our watches now because of that mistiming. So there's been a lot. This is my hometown. You will also get to see the house that I reference all the time that Nikki is currently in. And so you'll have a visual of what the house looked like. But that little town's got a lot, so we'll go over some history, some other things that happened. You'll get to walk on that path that this train wreck actually happened on. There's a lot that goes on. And then in August, we will be at the Midwest Railroad Preservation Society for yet another train issue. We did not do this on purpose. It just happened. We will be near the Torso Murders location, so you can get some information from there. The death car is held and housed there and maintained there. You'll get to go up into that. You'll have access to the roundhouse and all of these other little buildings. And there's rumors about other things that have happened on that property. And Marianne,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
And maybe kind of go over some theories these railroad workers have about whether or not the Torso murderer was a railroad worker. So we'll kind of investigate that maybe too.
I think he rode the railroad. I don't know if he was a railroad worker or not, but I think he rode it a lot. And for those that you remember, Amy Mahalovic, the man that killed her, rode the trains all the time too, going to other cities. He'd hop him and go. Yeah.
So, yeah, these guys that are out there, like they're smart older guys, like working, and they've got theories, and they have some good evidence of why they think for those theories. So they're interesting to talk to. Are the podcasts on anything other than Twitch? So yes, the podcast, you can listen to them on everything, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, like you can listen anywhere. What we do on Twitch is when we record them, we only record them on Twitch. You get to see it live and you get to hear all the stuff that I take out, all of the goofing off, the side conversations and, stuff that's really not appropriate to be in a podcast. So that's what we do on Twitch. And as soon as we're done and I hit end live, it comes down. So if you're not there when it's happening, then you have to wait, later. And a lot of the times I'm taking out stuff as I'm editing. I'm like, well, I shouldn't say that one. Which today, because Marianne and I both have things that we kind of got to go do. We're not recording today on Twitch. Next week, we will record two
of them. Yeah.
So anywhere you listen to podcast, you should find us, and it is called When Ghosts Speak. And today was part 2 of the sad.
It's the only one that we've done a 2-parter on. So we're curious to see how this is going to work.
Yeah, this one was kind of a heavy story, but it does have a good heartfelt ending to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really wish we could have tracked down Officer Glenn.
Yeah, I know. And you have to remember, I'm pulling up cases that happened so long ago because I'm afraid if I do anything recent, you're going to know exactly who it is. And I can't do that. So it's really hard. And when you consider I'm already in my mid-70s, how old were these people when I contacted them when I was 30? They're not around anymore, group. And if I know how to call a ghost, I would call them and say, what did we talk about? But I don't know how to do that.
Ring.
Yeah. I have no idea how to do that. So,
and you're right.
July 4th is next Tuesday. The full moon is on Monday. So don't be surprised if weird stuff happens on July 4th this year.
Especially, if you're getting together with friends and family and giving them that extra human battery to pull off of.
Yep.
And you're right, Brooke. We will be, Brooke and I and Sandy and maybe Zach, I have to see if he's available. We'll be live tonight doing metaphysical talk and readings. So we will be left unsupervised by Marianne. So
you're on your own, group.
Yeah, over here on Twitch. So you can join us on Twitch. It's free. You can create a free account and come watch us. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free so you don't get any of the commercials. So, but join us there tonight at 7 Eastern Standard Time and join the metaphysical shenanigans that we do. But yeah, Marianne, we got any? Am I forgetting something? I feel like I am.
No, I think we got it covered. I think we're good. I think we got it.
Fine. If I feel like I'm forgetting something, I'm good. It's when I'm like, I'm good. It's great that like 20
And
minutes.
you forgot something. Yeah. No, I think we got it. I think we got it. So, okay. Well, everybody have a safe holiday weekend, and we will see you next Wednesday.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.